Welcome back to TKR's Candidates Forum. You're in the third section of the candidates where the 4 men running for Mayor of Elizabeth will be giving 2-minute summations. We'll hear from them in alphabetical order, and the first will be Chris Bollwage, who is currently a member of the Elizabeth City Council where he has served for 10 years. Chris?
Thank you, Jeanne. First of all, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters this evening for hosting this forum. I'd like to thank the attending media for their questions. It was an enjoyable process, and I think the voters of the City of Elizabeth will look at some of the remarks here this evening and say, how are they going to vote in the 1992 June 2nd primary? I'd like to ask some of the voters if they think it's broken. I'd like to ask some of the voters if they think that it's better now than it was a couple of years ago. I'd like to ask the voters if they think we need some change in the City of Elizabeth. I'd like to ask the voters what do they think about the future of the City of Elizabeth and where it's going for the next 4 or 8 years. I'd like to think if they can remain and stay the same and the status quo. If the status quo is okay, then I think they have to make some serious choices on election. I'm running for the mayor of the City of Elizabeth because I strongly feel that there's change. I strongly feel that we need new leadership and new answers in City Hall, and that we can provide them. We view problems that exist in the City of Elizabeth not as a burden. We view problems as opportunities. We look to solve problems. We view the problems that exist in the City of Elizabeth and our rich, ethnic, diverse background as something that we should benefit by. We have the largest train station and seaport in the City of Elizabeth. We can use this to our advantage. We can use our rich, ethnic, diverse culture and assimilate people into City Hall and bring people into government. The question was asked earlier about financing. It's a shame that so many people have been left out of city government. When government is exclusive, government suffers. We need to bring people into government. We need to bring all our people into government. And I think the situation in the City of Elizabeth needs a change. And that's why I've chosen to run for mayor. In the last 10 years that I've served on the City Council, I have seen that the City of Elizabeth has stagnated. We need to give it a jump start, and that's why I'm asking for your support on June 2nd, 1992.
Thank you. The second candidate that we will hear from in alphabetical order is the current Mayor, Thomas Dunn, who is running for his 8th term. Mr. Dunn?
My campaign slogan is, if it's not broken, why fix it? In an honest attempt to tell the voters that there is no need to make a change just for the sake of change. One of my opponents has put forth any program for the benefit of the city yet. They use platitudes and slogans. My record shows that for every problem, there has been a response. For every challenge, there has been a solution. For example, my leadership stopped the New Jersey Turnpike from widening its Elizabeth boundaries in 1986. I was going to carry on reading a prepared statement when I found out we had 2 minutes to close. But now let me make a reference to the real scary thing about this entire campaign. A reference was made by one of the reporters before about the large sum of money being raised by Councilman Bollwage to become the mayor of the City of Elizabeth. It is staggering. It runs into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, may even reach the $500,000 mark before the campaign is over with. And where is that money coming from? It is coming from places like California, Arizona, states outside New Jersey that should have absolutely no interest whatsoever in who becomes the mayor of the City of Elizabeth. So I have to question, why are people from outside the state of New Jersey investing so heavily in the campaign of Chris Bollwage? It certainly gives one reason to suspect that there is something wrong. I happen to feel that the real mayor of Elizabeth, should Mr. Bollwage win, is going to be our state Democratic chairman and a bunch of politicians from Hudson County who are running his campaign on a day-to-day basis right from out of his campaign headquarters on Jefferson Avenue and East Jersey Street. The record is replete with references made to these people who are being paid by Mr. Bollwage and Mr. Lesniak to run the campaign. Why are they so interested in Elizabeth? Elizabeth is not for sale, it's not for lease.
The third candidate, who is Salaam, Ismail, who is running for office for the first time and active with a youth program in Elizabeth.
First of all, I'm running for a number of reasons. And let me set the record straight that this is not a pride campaign. This is not a campaign to give African Americans some visibility politically here in the city of Elizabeth. This is a real campaign. I don't believe that we need to build a financial war chest to launch such a campaign. I think most people know of the work that we put out over the years in dealing with the young people here in the city of Elizabeth. This campaign is about some inclusiveness, to bring in the African American, Latino, the young, and the poor, who have been, by all intents and purposes, locked out for the last 28 years. We do have a plan. That plan includes developing a number of things, including a deputy mayor, so that person can be out there campaigning for the city. The city have a very bad image. To develop a community relations program within the police department, a low and moderate income housing program, and numbers of others. These are the kind of programs that is needed in the city of Elizabeth to effect change. The current administration have pretty much locked out the people who made a difference in this town, the very same people that are going to save this town in the years to come. I'm asking all to vote for me on June 2nd and bring in a new dimension into this town. Let's go and establish a crusade for change and let everyone know that this town can work together. It can't be divided among races, among classes of people. This town must come together under one umbrella, and that is the umbrella for progress and change.
Thank you very much. The fourth and final candidate for the Elizabeth mayor race is Robert Jaspan, who currently serves on the Elizabeth Council. Mr. Jaspan?
Thank you, Jeanne. As a mayor of the city of Elizabeth, I will be there for all the people. I will have an open door policy to address your concerns. I chose to stay in Elizabeth when so many people chose to leave. I have invested in the city, and I feel I have been good to the people, and the people have been good to me. As a businessman for almost 30 years, I have treated my customers with respect and honesty. I would treat all the people of Elizabeth, as your mayor, the same way. My involvement in city government started a dozen years ago. Being a charter member of a city agency, the Elizabeth Development Company, it showed me at that time that Elizabeth needed help. After serving on several other committees, I was appointed to the planning board, on which I served for 6 years. For the past year and a half, I have been the councilman of the 3rd Ward. I put much time and effort working on behalf of my constituents, addressing many problems that came before me. Also, as a city council member, voting on many issues that affects the lives of all of us in Elizabeth. I look for solutions to the many problems facing us, crime being number one. I don't have all the answers, but I will find them. I would look to you, the citizens of Elizabeth, for your input. I'm a good listener and a good doer. My goal as your mayor is to make Elizabeth a better place for all of us to live, to work, and to bring up our children in.
Thank all of you very much. And now it's up to the people of Elizabeth. I would remind you that the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, June 2nd, for you to make a choice. And if you have questions about districts or questions having to do with the voting process, you can call the League of Women Voters 800 number, which is 1-800-792-VOTE, and those questions can be answered. And we certainly hope that you will vote, because that's the most important choice that you can make, having heard the candidates and acquainted yourselves with their positions. Thank you very much.